Hey everyone, David Morrison back with another Tennessee football opponent preview for the 2024 Tennessee Volunteer football season. We are now in the month of November in our journey, and the first opponent Tennessee will face in the final month of the regular season of college football. Tennessee will take on the Kentucky Wildcats on November the 2nd at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Uh, for Kentucky, kind of a typical Kentucky season, if you will. 7-6 on the year with a 3-5 SEC record. Mark Stoops continues to be the longest tenured head coach in the SEC, although kind of had a interesting few days there, as at one time Mark Stoops was about to leave Kentucky and take the Texas A&M job, but those plans fell through at the 11th hour due to some fan backlash and basically fan backlash, if you will, and maybe some alumni wasn't too happy either. I know Tennessee fans went through that several years ago, so we know what happens in that situation. So now Mark Stoops returns back to Kentucky, and Texas A&M has their head coach in Mike Elko. But anyways, getting back to the Cats here, Kentucky, like a lot of college football teams, hit the transfer portal pretty hard this year, replacing some big key players from the likes of a Devin Leary and a Ray Davis. So now pretty much a brand new offense. And as a matter of fact, Kentucky has a brand new offensive coordinator as Liam Cohen completed his second go around in Kentucky. And now he's at the NFL. So now Boise State offensive coordinator Bush Hamdan now takes over as offensive coordinator. All right, so some of the transfers that came in. Former five-star quarterback and Georgia quarterback Brock Vandengraff is now the quarterback for the Cats. Brock ended up sitting behind Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck, and he had some playing time at at Georgia, but just never really saw the field and became an every game starter. So now he is at Kentucky, and we'll see what Kentucky has a store for him. Running back, Chip Trananam, I hope I said that right, came from Ohio State. And as I mentioned, replaces Ray Davis. And then wide receiver Jamari Macklin came in from North Texas. He's going to be lining up with a couple of veteran wide receivers that played on Kentucky last year, Barry and Brown and Dana Key. So pretty solid little wide receiver group, if I do say so myself. And then a couple of offensive linemen that transferred from other SEC schools, including former Florida offensive lineman Jalen Farmer and Tennessee offensive lineman Gerald Mincy. So Mark Stoops and Bush Hamdan, like I said, building a brand new offense for Kentucky, and we'll see what happens there. On the defensive side, three returning starters on the defensive line, including future NFL first-round draft pick, or high draft pick, I should say, Deion Walker. Linebackers J.J. Weaver and former Georgia linebacker Jamon Dumas Johnson. Cornerback DJ Waller came in from Michigan. Now he's at Kentucky. And then both their safeties returned back in Zion Childress and Jordan Lovett. So that's kind of like a quick overview of Kentucky. Kentucky, we all know the story. Since 1984, in 40 years, and playing Tennessee every other year in Knoxville, they only have 2 wins in Knoxville, as I mentioned, 84 and 2020. And every other time it's been a loss. Tennessee has had Kentucky's number in that stretch there. Once again, Kentucky has to go back to Neyland Stadium. Last trip they took to Neyland, it was a nightmare throughout the whole game. And with this brand new SEC TV deal and already kind of announcing window times when this game's going to kick off, this is already announced as a night game. So who knows if we'll see the dark mode jerseys break out. I mean, for this game or maybe another game. This is just still speculation here in July. But it definitely it kind of brings back some lingering memories, if you will. And by this point, Tennessee would have already played some pretty significant games. They've already would have played Alabama and Oklahoma, NC State, Florida. Um, so, this is around the time of the year when Tennessee normally plays Kentucky. They kind of obviously they know what they have. Uh, as far as kind of what I expect. I'm not doing win loss predictions in these videos, but I'm interested to see how this defensive line attacks this new revamped Kentucky offense, and then meanwhile, how will Tennessee's offense do against Kentucky's defense, which has been fairly solid against the Vols. But we'll like I said, we'll see in this game. I think Tennessee will definitely be a significant favorite going into this game, but you never know. Kentucky could go on this miraculous run, and it could be a big must see TV game, if you will. I think, and also for Tennessee, how they do in these big games. This Kentucky game could be a toss up game too, coming in into this one. But it's definitely a must win game for the Vols. And I know Kentucky is looking to make it somewhat of a closer game than it was in 2022. All right, so that's going to wrap it up with the Kentucky Wildcats. We'll continue with the month of November with three more SEC opponents that we got to preview. So hopefully you'll see us in the next video. And yeah,